Hello and welcome to the Astro Vibe of the Week. I'm Shira, founder of Abracadabra Astrology, a place for astrology loving women to embody their authenticity, embrace their truth, and turn up their shine. This week is magical AF. Let me start there because there is perfect, beautiful, heart amplifying alignments, including a Cazimi. Let's get into it. So the first couple of days of this week are pretty chill. Like not a lot is happening. And really what's happening is that we are still exploring what happened last week with the new moon. And we are also in this in-between space before the 8-8 portal that so many astrologers will start talking about, numerologists will start talking about it, and I'll share a bit about that too. But I want you to know that the 8-8 portal is not what we think it is. I'll get there soon. But let's start with the end of this week, Wednesday and Thursday, because that's really where things get exciting and where the energy of the heart that I was talking about amplifies. So, 30th of June. On the 30th of June, we have the sign of Venus, and Venus is the energy of your divine inner goddess, the goddess part of you that is a magnet for all the things that you desire on a really deep soul level. It's also the sign of how we relate with one another, our relationships. It is the sign of how we connect to the frequency of love and the frequency of the heart. And on the 30th, Venus shifts into Cancer. So when Venus goes into the sign of Cancer, she'll be there for about a month, for about a 30-day period of time. And Cancerian energy is so much about being able to feel, literally, to feel what it is that you want. When we're talking about Venus, we often talk about manifestations, what we're calling in. And sometimes that word manifesting is like a buzzword. And a lot of us are like, what the fuck do you even mean by manifesting? What I mean is each of us comes to this planet with desires and longings. And those desires and longings are completely valid, completely worthy, and inherently you are born here to explore them. And in this culture, we're often taught to suppress what we really want, to suppress our desires. We are given this energy of guilt or shame over what we really want. Like if you want more than what you have now and you really desire to live an even bigger, more exciting, more vibrant life, how many people out there feel bad for that? So many. If you don't, that is amazing. I am clapping for you. But for many of us, this is a journey, a lifelong journey of embracing what it is that we want authentically and embracing who we are. And part of who we are comes with what we want and the things that we desire. So, on the deepest level, Venus is really about your heart's desire. And in the ancient scripts of yoga, specifically, I'm talking the Kundalini ancient scripts of yoga, the soul resides in the heart. So, on a deep level, when you connect to what you really want from your heart, from your inner truth, you are connecting to your soul. And it's our job here on planet Earth to help peel away, clear, and heal the incoherent illusion energy that came with societal conditioning, with the norms that we're taught, with the things that our family preaches to us that keeps us in a box or keeps us in one lane and limited from our true potential and what it is that we really want. And oftentimes the thing that really keeps us from calling in what we want and actually like receiving the manifestations that we're putting out into the world are oppositional frequencies and vibrations. Vibrations is a Cancerian theme because it's also connected to feeling. So, this oppositional vibration of what it is that we want. So, for example, if you really want to call in the love of your life, just a random example, if you want to call in the love of your life, but in your energetic frequency, in your vibrational field, in your belief system that is connected to your vibrational field, because all things are held in vibration in your body and in the field around you. If you really want to call in the love of your life, and there's a little tiny vibration inside of you that's maybe ancient or from your mother or from your crazy Aunt Susie, I don't know, whatever it is, that says, if I am in a relationship and with the love of my life, they'll leave because people never stay. Or if there's some tiny part of you that isn't embracing your truth and you are wanting a relationship that isn't really true to you, or these vibrational oppositions to what the heart really wants is what keeps those things at bay. So, in my work, in the work that I do, my job is to find out what is the vibrational opposition that might not even be yours. It could totally be societal, it could be from a past life, it could be from your friend Max that you had when you were 7 years old that told you that all men are terrible. I don't know what it's from. It doesn't even matter, but it's in your being. And the job is let's find it and let's switch the vibration so that you feel vibrationally aligned to your heart, to your Venus energy that lives in the heart and is connected to your soul. And I feel that part of what we come here to do in this earth school, we come into this incarnation to learn about ourselves deeply, fully, truly. And this work, when you dive deeper and deeper and deeper into it, the pinnacle of it is at the heart. So Venus shifts into Cancer, and all of a sudden, the awareness of your inner world and your frequency brightens, lightens, and it kind of turns up. Now, for all of us, it will be expressed differently. If you have many planets or points in the sign of Cancer, you're going to feel this in a way that is bringing heartfelt energy into your chart. But let's say you have a lot of planets or points in Capricorn, in the oppositional energy. You might have more awareness of what is actually keeping you from what you really want. So, whatever your chart looks like, this energy is going to present differently. And you can work with this energy according to how it's presented in your chart. And we can talk about that a little later in the video. So, let's talk about the Cancerian energy of nurturing, of intuition, of feeling sensations, vibrations, and vibes internally. And it is the opposite of the mind, which is going to analyze, it's going to reason, it's going to explain itself. So our brains are always looking for problems. Our brains are always looking for things that might be scary because this is like an ancient reptilian software brain, not as in like reptilian people, but the reptilian brain is wired for safety and security. It's just wired to keep us from dying, from like falling off a cliff or getting eaten by a bear. So the wiring of the brain often limits us and creates boundaries and restrictions, but the energy of the sensations in your body and your heart are giving us true messages, and they're like little GPS points that we can find information from and follow. But the minute that we begin to um, bring the energy into the brain and think about all of the things that could go wrong or overanalyze or ruminate or look at the mistakes we've made, we are snapped out of the heart and we fall asleep. So the awakening process is continuously returning to your heart. And this is high Cancerian energy. It's the energy of if you are standing next to someone and you feel in your body that something's a little off, you have the wisdom to trust that feeling and walk away, make your way away from that vibration that doesn't align with you. So the journey of feeling our sensations without going into the analysis paralysis mental state is the lesson of Venus transiting through Cancer. It is putting our heart in alignment with what it is that is right. And when I say right, I mean vibrationally right, what feels energetically aligned. Now, one of my favorite ways to get into the state of energetic alignment and connection to the heart is by doing something where we lose track of time. Because time and space is how we are bound to the 3D. It's how we are bound to the material realm. And in the material realm, energy, things, and let's say things that you want, move very, very slowly. The material realm on a vibrational, mathematical scale is the slowest vibration. 3D is a slow vibration. And that means the limitations of this 3D world, time and space. If you have ever started to get a little stressed, you might notice that one of the first things that you do is you start to focus on your environment and you start to focus on time. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be late. What time is it? What am I doing with my time? We start to go on do mental gymnastics, impossible gymnastics around time and around space, where you start to look around your environment and the external environment becomes more important than your internal environment when you're in fight or flight, when you're stressed. And we start to intake things from the external environment, and that external environment sends signals to your cells and your body and your brain to go into more stress. So we have this challenging dance that can be exciting. It's a tango with time and space in the 3D, and our ability to get out of time with certain things that we do. So, can you think of anything that gets you out of time? For example, what are you doing when you lose track of time? What's the thing that you do that helps you lose track of time? It could be something like listening to music and going on a walk. Lately, for me, I put on music, I go on a walk. I do not care what time it is. I am just with the music, like feeling the vibrations, having a good time, going on my walk, and it's beautiful. For you, is it dancing? Is it writing music or playing music? Is it painting? Is it doing yoga? Doing yoga is a great way to lose track of time, especially because the teacher usually has you in a safe hour boundary or 90-minute boundary. What's the thing that gets you out of time? Because when you're not paying attention to time and you are in the flow of things, you open your connection to the 5D, which is where frequency speeds up. Now, hopefully, I haven't lost you because I'm dripping quantum physics in here. But this has been proven that when we remove time, the less time and space we're in, the faster the frequency we can connect to. And so if you go into this flow state where you're just doing something and you're so invested in that thing that you forget about the time, you make the frequency faster and you help energy move at a faster pace from one thing to another. So when you're in the 3D and you're focusing on time, you're focusing on the material, you're focusing on your external environment, it feels like life is really hard and things are hard to change and it's hard to heal and it's hard to overcome our obstacles. But when you get out of time and into your flow state, you are focusing so much energy on the present moment. Joe Dispenza calls it the generous present moment. You're really tapped into the present moment. Time begins to dissolve, your central nervous system relaxes, and now you're not thinking about your worries. You're not thinking about what could go wrong. You're not thinking about the ick, whatever the thing is. You're in the present moment. So if there's one piece of advice I could give you is find a time every day. Isn't that funny? A time to remove yourself from time. Find a time where you can get into that generous present moment. Because the more in that state you can be, the more connected to the vibration of the heart, the more aligned with your heart your brain gets just by getting into that present state. We can't force ourselves into it. Like, I'm going to be present now. No, because time has passed again. It comes during moments where you are connecting so deeply to something that you don't even have to think about anything else. You're just fully in. And from that space, the most beautiful vibrations arrive and you become a magnet to what you want and to also what you're focusing on. You get better and better at the thing that you're putting your energy into. Where you put your energy into, you put your life, blood, your whole life you put into wherever it is you're focusing on, you're putting more life into it. Whether it's worries, fears, whatever that is, or your heart's desires and tuning into the potential of them, wherever you put your energy, you're giving your life to. So as Venus shifts into Cancer, the energy of the heart is becoming more potent and more important and something to really pay attention to and align with. This is doubled down with the sun in Leo, doubled down with the sun in Leo. Venus in Cancer and the sun in Leo and Mercury in Leo are doubling down on the vibration of the heart. Because in physical astrology, Leo is your heart and your backbone. And part of the archetypal journey of the Cancerian energy with the Leo energy is, can you trust the wisdom of your heart and follow it like a warrior, like a lioness protecting her cubs, her most important things on the planet? Can you tune into that, align with it, and be fierce about it? Because that's what Leo asks of us. It's like, how fierce can you be about living this full life? How fierce can you be about following your heart? And that is where we receive our heart's desires, because that's the formula for it. So really awesome ending to July that has been so strange and all kind of all over the place with Mercury retrograde. Now, things get a little better even when the sun and Mercury align. Now, sun and Mercury alignment is called a Cazimi, Cazimi with a C, and it's when there's an exact conjunction, so they come to the exact degree. This is happening on the 31st, so towards the end of this week. And we'll have this Cazimi with the sun perfectly aligning with Mercury in Leo, the sign of the heart in physical astrology, and being a courageous warrior, fire energy, a lion, going after your truth, because Leo is also your truth and your authenticity and how you share it with the world, how you express it with the world, and how comfortable you are just fucking showing up and being yourself and being authentic and expressing yourself. And we're getting this embodiment during this time. Now, during the Cazimi, with the Sun and Mercury in Leo, we remember that Mercury is retrograde. Now, when we have retrograde Mercury energy, yes, there's like funky tech things that happen. I've had like weird things happen with my Zoom and with Wi-Fi. And yes, I am in to occur when the planet of information and movement starts to slow down. Strange things occur. But on an esoteric level, a spiritual level, any retrograde planet slows down and offers us a pause that is opportunity for reflection. And when you lean into that reflection, when you are becoming the observer of what is coming up in your experience, you have an opportunity to understand things that have occurred in the past from a higher vision, like from the eagle's eye, from above. Because when we're in our life just moving forward with energy that is rolling, it's very, very hard, almost impossible to pause and take stock over what we are ready to let go of, what we're ready to clear, what we're still kind of sifting through and working through and healing through. So we have this opportunity to really understand and get more clarity on this whole Mercury retrograde process that we have been in, and even the time before it, before Mercury was retrograde, and we had certain decisions that we made that we now can revisit and understand from a higher perspective, almost like a cyclical energy that instead of staying on the same plane starts to go up like a DNA helix. And we start to return from what we experienced, but with new insight and new wisdom. So when we have this Sun Cazimi, Mercury, we're going to get new insight. It's probably already happening where you're like, okay, I wanted this thing, but then I kind of backtracked a little bit because I got a little scared, or maybe some fears came up, and now I have awareness that that's fear. I have awareness of this other part of me, and I accept her and I loved her. And more importantly, I remember what it is that I chose. So I really want to bring us back actually to the Cancer new moon that happened on June 24th, I believe. Um, the Cancer new moon. So around June 20th, where we had the solstice, the sun shifted into Cancer, and we imagining that something was being revealed within you. Because when we hit this peak solstice point, many of us have a rebirth of some sort. There's like a rebirth and an opening of the gateway of the heart as the sun shifts into Cancer, and we get more aligned with that nurturing, loving Venus qualities. And then after we have the experience of the sun in Cancer, the sun shifts into Leo. Here we are now. And remember, Leo in the anatomy is literally the heart and the backbone, how you stand up for yourself. So there's a cycling moment where we're receiving information that came to us on the solstice. You might want to look at your pictures from what you were doing around the solstice and the new moon in Cancer and what was revealed to you. Because when we had that come in, our sensitivity and our vibrational awareness of what is in the heart and what we feel in our being began to climax. It began to lift up and pull some information out from the subconscious up into our awareness so that we could embody it and we could bring it into wholeness with ourselves and our experience in the world. So hopefully I haven't lost you with bringing you back to the end of June, because I do feel that the Cancer new moon and when the sun shifted into Cancer has a alignment with the Cazimi that's coming with the sun and Mercury in Leo, because there's a storyline that we're moving through from that solstice point. There's a storyline, there's something that's unfolding. And these retrograde planets that we have right now, including Mercury retrograde, are flushing out the details and sort of things that we may have forgotten or missed as we went on that journey. Okay, there's one more piece, and then I will talk to you about the 8-8 portal, but you know what? I'm deciding this video is getting long, so I'm going to make a whole other video about it, and I'm going to talk about the history of it and Sirius and all of that good stuff. So as we close out this week and we go 30, 31, so we have Venus into Cancer on the 30th, then we have the Cazimi on the 31st, and then we begin a Venus in Cancer squaring Saturn in Aries that hits its exact mark on the 1st of August. But we're going to feel it. Just this whole, I feel like we're going to feel this Venus square Saturn the whole week. And it's part of this storyline that's unfolding. So Saturn asks us to take responsibility for our lives, to be in integrity. But sometimes Saturn can put some pressure on us that doesn't feel liberating. It doesn't feel that good. But the reason Saturn needs to put this pressure on us to help us understand something is because Saturn is teaching us to make sure that we are able to have the inner strength to move forward in the way that we are meant to move forward. So Saturn puts a little pressure on us and gives us a little discomfort so that we can understand our true power and our strength in a new way. This is how I think about Saturn that's coming through to me right now. Do you know that when you have a plant or a tree or a flower that has some challenge, like a seed is planted and let's say it's a flower that's growing, if there's a lot of wind that comes onto this flower and there's storms, this flower is going to experience challenge. There's a challenge. There's like a wind blowing them back and they experience resistance. That's Saturn. Because of the resistance, the flower gets bigger and stronger and the stem gets thicker. The leaves get bigger, bolder, stronger. And this is the same for trees. If you've ever gone hiking and you know you get to the top of the mountain, the trees are totally different. They're like thicker, the leaves are bigger, they're a little shorter, and they're fucking solid. They're like solid as a rock. So when we have this resistance that Saturn can sometimes bring and challenge that sometimes Saturn can make us feel internally, it's pressure the way that coal, when pressurized, turns into a diamond. The strength creates something new. And so we're going to have this Venus being pressurized by Saturn, and that strength wants to create something new and more powerful inside of us. Because sometimes with the Cancerian energy, it's so comfy, it desires so much comfort that if we just didn't have any pressure, we would just like lay down on the couch and do nothing, and we would just deteriorate and nothing would happen, and we might not love our lives because we're too safe, we're too secure. when we've got the pressure to grow and to evolve and to get to this next level of our lives, it's very Saturnian, very Capricorn. Capricorn knows that when you do something that's hard, when you work through a challenge, when you overcome an obstacle, what you receive is the energy of proud. You're proud of yourself. You gain confidence. So Saturn's actually here to help you grow your leaves and stems stronger, to become stronger, and to gain more self-trust and to gain more confidence in the experience, in the journey. So the more that you overcome, and I'm not telling you, I'm not asking you to like, life is a struggle. Oh, struggle, resist. That's, if you're getting that message, you are just not hearing me at all. What I'm saying is that this alignment that's we're going to feel this week and a little bit into the beginning of August, especially on August 1st, is helping us find confidence and faith in ourselves. Because when we come up against challenge, our ability to overcome the challenge creates loyalty, strength, power within our own selves. And then it becomes easier to follow your heart. So if that's not a mind fuck, I don't know what is, because we often think of the heart as this soft, thingy, gushy romance, yay, love. And it's like, no, not at all. In order to really be living from your heart, it takes a great deal of deep personal courage. That's Leo. Trusting your inner wisdom. That's and this Saturnian energy where we have Aries and Neptune right now. So Neptune will also be squaring. Um, this Saturnian energy, which is to build inner strength, to build inner strength, to build inner trust, to find your confidence by moving through hardship. And it doesn't have to be super hard. It can be so many things. By moving through challenge, we become stronger. As long as we have the right perspective and we're not becoming victim mentality mindset and blaming and staying stuck. It takes this ability to find a higher perspective, like the eagle, and see ourselves as the hero, the heroine of our journey, and to understand that we are on a spiritual initiation. If you're on this path, and especially if you're listening to me, you're on a spiritual initiation. I'm on a spiritual initiation. It doesn't end. It's just every chapter has a new initiating quality to it. And the more that we can walk towards the unknown and walk towards where our soul and our heart is guiding us, the stronger, more loyal relationship we gain with our heart and ourselves until it becomes easy frickin' peasy to do this kind of work. So thank you for being here. I'm so grateful for you. And I appreciate you. I appreciate just that you're here with me and in the energy bubble with me. So have a beautiful, beautiful week. It's going to be a good one, especially now that you are ready for it and you kind of know what's coming. Check your chart for the cardinal signs: Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, Libra, because that's where this Venus in Cancer is going to be activating. And you can also check the fixed area of your chart because the Cazimi will be in that Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio fixed energy. So there's a lot going on. It's really exciting. It's really beautiful. I am making sure that I am sending you the most love in the whole freaking world and that you have the best week of all time. and that all of your dreams come true and all of the magic comes to you and everything you've ever desired in your heart of hearts is just being magnetized to you now. Have the best week ever, and I'll see you on the other side.